Hi, I'm Annie. Contact info in the description. So how the heck does consciousness work? I don't know. I'm asking you. I really don't know. Some really weird stuff has been happening lately. So I have a couple stories. A few weeks ago on a Saturday, it was the day before Sunday. Yeah. Yeah, obviously. It was. It was the day before Sunday. No, it was the day before Easter. On a Saturday, day before Easter, I was giving a massage over here on my massage table, and this song popped into my head. Dream a Little Dream. Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. You know that one. So anyway, that song popped into my head. I used to really love that song. It is, one of my favorite songs. Favorites are hard when it comes to music because I have so many. I hate it when people ask me what my favorite song is. Like, what a ridiculous question. There's so many good songs. Anyway, I like that song. And I was thinking about the first time that I heard it, and it was in a movie called Dream a Little Dream with like Corey Feldman or Corey Haim or both of those guys, like maybe 1989 or 91 or 92. When I was a child, I watched this movie in the theater, and it was this weird, esoteric, trippy movie. I actually rewatched it as an adult, and it's weird. It's thought-provoking, and it's kind of cool, and it's sort of like about the nature of reality, consciousness. There's some weird stuff that's going on. Anyway, I was thinking about that song on the Saturday, and then the next day on Easter, I was sitting at my workbench over here glazing some artwork for my ceramics kiln, and I got this really cryptic text message, and it just said, "Is this Annie White?" And I was kind of annoyed because I get a lot of spam calls, and I thought maybe this is just like some new way that they're spamming, like trying to get my attention, trying to get me to answer the phone or return the email, return the voice message, because they're using these like really sleazy tactics. You can get a voice message that says something like, "Hey, this is Jessica, would you give me a call back?" And she's requesting me to call back, thinking that I'm going to feel socially obligated to call her back because she said, but it's really just like a sales thing, like not saying why she's, anyway, I thought maybe it was something like that, and they're just like a new tactic. And so I didn't want to get like heavily invested in this conversation, but I was intrigued enough that, when the person said, "Is this Annie White?" I just said, "Yep," and then moving on. I'm not going to put a lot of energy into that. And then a bit later, I got this video from the same number, and it was an Alexa sitting on someone's kitchen counter, and it was playing that song, Dream a Little Dream, the song that I had just been thinking about the day before, and the song that I hadn't really thought about in years. It sent me that video, and then a bit later, this song reminded me of you. Who do you think I am? And I was like, gosh, who is this? Who is this? And this image just flashed in my mind of a childhood friend named Chrissy. And she was like my best friend when I was a child. And so that was my guess. I responded back, "Is this Chrissy?" And it was. In the last 30 years, I think we somewhat connected like 10 years ago, but then I lost her information. And I just recently, before this whole Easter miracle thing, I had recently tried an old email address that I had for her, and it bounced back because it was like an old work address, and she probably doesn't even work for that company anymore. So I had been thinking about her a few weeks before that, but it's just like, how does that happen? Why was I the day before on my massage therapy table thinking about that song, and then the next day, that song is relevant again, and it's a message from someone who I have not seen in 30 years and have had, very little communication with in the last 30 years. How does that happen? I don't know, but it was really cool. It was an Easter miracle, and now we're connected and we're chatting back and forth. So it's really cool to be reconnected with an old childhood friend. But then also my partner recently has been kind of like reading my mind, and I don't know how he's doing it. I do notice that with people that you know really well, like images and words can jump from one mind to another, and that just happens. So that'll happen with my mom. We're talking about something, and she's like, the thing that like you XYZ, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, you mean this one?" And it's like, I can just pull the word out of her mind. But sometimes like the context is a hint of that word. But I was sitting out in the garden with my partner partner on a sunny day, and we weren't talking about TV or anything. We watch one show together every evening while we eat dinner. We weren't talking about TV. We weren't talking about anything related. And I was looking on my iPad and I said, have we really? And then I was looking something up and he said, watched every episode of Downton Abbey? Yes, we have. It's done. It's over. And like, that's exactly what I was going to Google. Like, have we really watched them all? There are 6 seasons and I just wanted to make sure that we really watched it through to the end because I couldn't remember because I like that show and I want to make sure I don't miss any of it. I was just like, how did you know I was going to say that? Because all I said was, have we really? Like, it could have been anything because it wasn't related to anything we had been talking about. It just didn't make any sense to me. And so I was trying to get him to explain to me how he knew that I was going to say that. And then he said, well, you know, maybe consciousness is really one. It's unified, and any appearance of separation or fragmentation in consciousness is just an illusion. And I could tell he was totally making fun of me because that's exactly what I was thinking. You know, when I think about like, how do images and words jump from one head into another, it makes me think that consciousness really is unified, and like, you know, we feel like we're cut off from each other, but we all have the same unified consciousness within us, and that being separated or seemingly, you know, cut off is just an illusion. But in him saying that, he was fucking with me because I know he doesn't believe that, and he was just making fun of me. But that was also what he said was another thing that I had just been thinking. He did it again yesterday, and I can't remember what it was, but it was just like, how did you know? That's what I was going to say. Like, am I really that predictable? And it is true that we have a certain vocabulary that we use. I have a vocabulary that I use, and he has a vocabulary that he uses more commonly. You know, we have a certain number of words within the rotation. My vocabulary is pretty large, and also because I'm older, the older you get, the larger your vocabulary is. And it also just depends on, you know, education and the amount that you read. People do have words that they use more often than others. But the word that I was going to say was silly putty. And it was like, that's not like a common word in my vocabulary. And it was only like vaguely related to what we were talking about. It wasn't in any way obvious. And so I don't know how he pulled that out of my brain. Yeah, I don't know. This is stuff like that. I don't understand when things like that happen. When a word seems to leap from one mind into another, or an image, or when somebody says, hey, you know that thing that, an image of the thing flashes in your mind. How does that work? Why is it happening? I don't know. And is my partner like doing some kind of secret like experiment, like just to fuck with me? Because it kind of seems like it. Because he's been doing this a lot lately and I don't know how he's doing it. But he is a lot smarter than me. Like, his IQ is way higher, so maybe he really is just fucking with me. I don't know. Anyway, what do you think? How does that happen? What does it mean?